Hi, I'm Marilyn Sanclementi of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my creative playground. Today I'm going to show you this gorgeous new Coneflower Celebrations set, which I absolutely love because coneflowers are one of my favorite flowers. I love this set and I think it's beautiful. There's just so much that you can do with this as well. And here I've combined it with the mixed media set, which is, or mixed florals, sorry. The mixed florals set, and that also has a coneflower in it. So I kind of combined it here and then this, and I made a slimline card. Isn't that cool? And the other thing that's really neat about this is these can open if you want. So you could use these to make little notes. So you could just attach this itself rather than making a whole card. And you could just use this as a little note to someone, you know, a happy birthday, whatever. Attach it to a gift. It would be great on a gift bag. I think it would be gorgeous. So for this one, I used as I said, I used the mixed florals. I did add the butterfly to it, which is part of the coneflower set. And then these little flowers I added in, and I kind of made this grass. I used some scissors to cut the grass. And then this, I used the plaid embossing folder. And the same thing with this. I used the plaid embossing folder. These I did glue down. I didn't make them open. But I love this, and I used the different shading. So I used Petunia Pop, and I used Fresh Freesia and stamped the designs and then kind of shaded them a little bit to show, you know, different coloring for flowers. And on this one, I used the Lemon Lolly, and this is the Darling Duckling. I stamped the background on here, and then I used Lemon Lolly here with the Darling Duckling ink, and here I embossed this with one of the embossing folders, and then I went over it with a brayer just to add some color to it, some yellow color to it. So those are a couple of different cards that I've made. I have one more that I wanted to show you. This card has been in my head, and I need to get it out of my head so I can do something with it. Let me get started, and I will show you this card. Okay, oops. I just need to grab some things and get them out of the way. Okay, so with this, I am going to use my blending brushes. So I did grab a piece of paper this time. And what's really cool about this set is it has different dies. It has some different dies. So it has this die, which lets you cut out this larger piece, which again could be a thank you card. So you first cut that out, and then you can cut this piece out, either same color or coordinating color. And then those pieces go together. And then there is this piece that you can cut out, and it makes a textured center for the coneflower. What do we want to call that? The stamen, I guess, for the coneflower. And you know, you can layer this. You can also stamp on the inside. I'm going to show you all that in a minute. And then there are some leaves that go with this. There's a stem, and there's also several different messages that go with this. And let me show you. Okay, so we have a background image. Here's a stem. Here's the leaves if you want to stamp the leaves. That's that pretty butterfly. And then it has the messages: you made my day, it's your day, thank you, celebrating you. I'm sorry I missed your special day. Let's celebrate, let's extend the celebration. And I love that I've known you for so many birthdays. Oh, that's a great one. I like that one. I know who I'm going to use that for. Okay. So I have some pieces that I have already cut. I have cut out that double layer. I have cut out that top layer. Okay, I'm just going to move this up here. I'll put that over there. And hopefully you all can see. Okay. Okay, and so for this card, I like black and white with a pop of color. So I thought I'm going to try something very different here. So I have my Petunia Pop, which is one of my favorite colors. That and Berry Burst. I am a pink person, or red. I am also a red person, too. And I have this piece of black. And I like the combination of black and white with a pop of color. So we're going to try this out and see how it looks. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that it's going to be exactly what I want, but you never know. Okay, so this is the Woven Textures paper. Or actually, sorry, Botanical Textures paper. There's two sets that go together. Woven Textures is the one that has all the backgrounds, all the fabric type backgrounds. I'm going to put this on the inside. I always like to cut a little piece of extra designer paper to use. So I'm going to do that. So let me trim that there to decorate the inside. Okay, there we go. And what I thought was I'm going to take, so this is Fresh Freesia, this is the Petunia Pop, and those two colors really go well together. So I took a piece of Fresh Freesia, or I've got two pieces of Fresh Freesia here that are, this one is 4x3, this one is just under 4x3, and I have embossed this because I wanted it to have some depth on the top. So let's put this together. Okay. And you could use some dimensionals on this too if you wanted to make that really pop. And then it's going to be super thick because this is a very thick card. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's do our stamping. Oops. Okay, so I am going to take the Fresh Freesia ink. Oops. And okay, so I'm going to take the Fresh Freesia ink, and this is the stamp that we use for this image. And we're actually going to stamp it a couple of different times. And I'm stamping it on white. So what that means is once I stamp the image, I'm going to fill in the colors with blending brushes. Okay, now, see if we can line this up again. How good can we go here? Not too bad. Okay, okay, it's hard because the way this folds and it pops up. So I'm going to kind of grab that edge. There we go. Okay. And then once we color that all in, and then actually this is going to go on top too. Okay, so this is the third piece. Okay, there we go. All right. So there is our coneflower. And as you can see, it doesn't line up completely, but that's because it's got so many different layers on it, and you're layering it. Okay, so I have a blending brush that has pinks on it, as you can tell. It's got some Petunia Pop, and it's got some... So now what I'm going to do is color some of this. And I do want to add some different colors in. So I was thinking about a little bit of this pink, but then also some yellow as well. Okay, so I do have a yellow here. I'll grab my darling duckling. I'm just going to add, yeah, there we go. Gives it a little bit of depth and some different colors. I think that's pretty. Get some different shading in there, because as we know, no two flowers are the same. Okay, so let's open this up a little bit. And now let's do a little bit here. Okay, and then let me go back over with some yellow. That's pretty. Okay, do some more pinks here. Okay, I like that. So now this would go on top. So again, I'm going to use some of the pink. This is fresh freesia. So I could go a little bit darker with the petunia pop if I wanted to. There we go. And actually, because this one's so detailed and it's cut out the way it is, you have to be really careful that you don't rip it. So, okay. So let's add a little bit of yellow to the sky. Ooh, look at that. That looks nice. I like that. Okay. Okay, and now you can see that on this one, I did not get it quite straight on. I was a little bit over, but this is going to go on here. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I'll put that away and put this away. And I have this, which I have cut out of Berry Burst, which is a shade darker than the Petunia Pop. So it's the kind of the darkest pinky magenta type of color. And this will go on here like so. Okay, so that is going to cover up this part. So I'm not so concerned about that. Now, as I showed you, you can keep this part open and put a message in here. Oops. Did I get that straight? Didn't get that straight. Or you can just glue this part down if you don't want that to completely open up. So I'm going to put this here. There we go. That goes on there like that. Isn't that cool? And then you could do the same here. You could cut a second one if you wanted to. Just kind of rough it up a little bit and get some of those pieces to point up. Give it some depth. And then that will go right there. Okay, now, the other thing that I wasn't sure about was, do I just want to put this on? I do have a piece here that we can put on, a stem, and that's cut out of Granny Apple Green. Put that on. And I have a couple of little, these are also cut out of Granny Apple Green. And again, you can either stamp these or you can cut them out. And I think I am going to put my message in here. Make sure that we stamp it going the right way. Okay. I'm going to get the Petunia Pop because that's a little bit darker color. Let's put that right there. And then actually the other thing that you could do is you could use one of these strips, dimensional strips, to pop that up if you want to make that a little bit more 3D. Attach this. So what I'm going to do is glue this back here. Okay. Let's see, we put Celebrating You on the inside. So what do we want to put? Let's put It's Your Day. Let's do It's Your Day. That will work. Okay. Again. So, let's do that. And then I have these black and white dots. Let me try and slide that under. There we go. Okay, and then I had a couple of these black dots. Oops, that one's being finicky. Okay, there we go. So there is our Coneflower card. And like this. So there we go. So that is the Coneflower Celebrations set. And as I mentioned, there is a lot that you can do with this set. And it's actually one of my favorite new sets because I love Coneflowers. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you're not on my mailing list, go out to stampwithmarilyn.com and you can sign up for my mailing list. I send out approximately one newsletter a week. I am leaving on vacation this week and I'll be gone for most of June, which is why I'm recording all this, so that you have some things to watch while I'm gone. Thanks so much and have a great day.